Hello, my name is Jalea Pettis, and I'm the owner and visionary of 3J Productions. This is my voice, my culture, and you're going to hear from the individuals that are working in the ins and outs of it every single day. Okay, so another topic that has kind of been floating around that I feel like it's really important that we address is people being so into what they see on social media. Whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, bring me this picture of this individual that is not in my bloodline or in my family, but I want you to make me look like them. So, Danielle, give us your take on that.
That is the story of my life. You think you want a smoky eye, but you don't really know what a smoky eye is on yourself. You think you want this Kim Kardashian contour when you don't need all of that. That is not real life. I think what people forget is what they see on social media. That is not what we do every day. And honestly, every woman working retail I've met, working all the retail in my life, when you go into Sephora now, they look crazy. They look crazy. They have way too much makeup on. And I know from my experience, I got my clients from having a natural face, natural makeup, because they look at you and they say, oh, you know what you're doing, and you're not intimidating. Because makeup is scary. Beauty is scary for women that don't know it. If you were never taught from your mother never know, your friends didn't know. If you were a tomboy, I was a tomboy. I played basketball my whole life. It was like, picked up a brush, I finally got it. But I think people get hypnotized by what they see online. Just because it has 50,000 likes, just because it has so many shares. That's not what we do every day. Giving you a harlot to the gods is not real life. That skinny nose contour, that's not real life. That's not what we see for you as a client. We look at you differently. And they see these things online, they see all that crazy makeup online, and I think that's what they want. But we need you to have trust in us. This is what we do. This is our career. This is our passion. Trust us and believe us when we tell you this is not for you. That's what you come to us for. That's what we get paid to do, is to educate you, share our education that we've learned with you as a client. And I think sometimes people forget about that. They get away from that, especially with all the YouTube. They think I can just go to YouTube and see that. But that's what we pay to learn. That's what we are here to make our clients feel better about themselves, because that makes us feel good about ourselves.
And not to mention filters, because everybody's
all
got
that.
a filter, and everybody, they don't look like that. But they don't.
That's true.
I've seen people on social media, some of my own clients or models
That's not you.
It's not even that, but I put a purple mohawk in their hair, and I see a picture, and the mohawk is pink, and I'm like, well, is it the mohawk? Because that's not what I you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not my, But by the same token, and then to on the flip side of that is, if you're an artist and somebody comes to me and say that they want their hair to look like, what's your name? Ton. I can do it.
That's me.
You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing about it is believability. You know what I'm saying? And if you're an artist, that's how you hone your skills. Like, you may not, girl, I may not be able to do it exactly, but I could give you something that looks like it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
For you.
And for you, and to be honest enough to, as a professional, to say, I know I've had this experience with you one time.
Right.
Your complexion, that ain't your complexion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And being very frank, because you don't want your work out there looking crazy.
But I think some of us are scared of that. Like, I think some of us are scared to educate your client. I know a lot of artists who, like weddings, you are not getting a red lip from me on your wedding day. You're not, because you're going to be kissing your husband, you're going to be kissing your kids, you're going to, you want a heavy inner corner. I'm not doing all of that. You're going to cry. You cry from your inner corner. But these are things that we are taught, and that our job is to teach them. And I think a lot of artists are like, I'm just going to give up my client what they want. Well, I'm going to give you what you want, but I'm also going to tell you why. We're going to go do a little, dial it down a little bit.
Right.
That's important.
That's very important.
What happens is a lot of people in the industry, I've found that a lot of people aren't always ready to be humbled. Like, if I'm like, you do kiki hair, I don't work with kiki hair every day. This is my hair. I don't have that. So it's like even going to things and humbling yourself and be like, I'm gonna get her number because
So I can learn from you.
right. And if I don't know how to do makeup, you know, and somebody's asking me, I need to be able to ask. Like even on mine, if I'm like, oh, I'm gonna ask Jalea, does this look okay? Like, but you need to do that. And I think people, to your point earlier, once they start to learn something, I'm like, I don't know anything, because the more I think you understand, the more you're just like, oh man, I didn't even think about that.
Right.
And I think some people don't really reach out, and they get afraid that even if they've had 20 years, right? I had an educator one time that was like, he didn't really know about curly hair, but he would not ask me.
Yep.
And I'm like, you leaving her with, and it hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? I'm like, listen, but just because you know something doesn't mean you're better.
Right.
And I think for me, even
That's right.
even when I know something, you know something, you know something, you know something, and you're gonna, you know, give me something that even if it's a little bit, it's gonna make me remember, and I'm gonna go, do you know what though? She said something about that, and I'm gonna go ask her. But that's where people get real in their own box, and that's where pride is like a real big issue.
Right.
Because it's like, no, you don't know everything, and there's so many things
That's
involved.
like-
You know, a lot of times it's not even pride, it's fear.
Yes.
Fear
There
of
you
the
go.
competition.
Yeah. There we go.
Yes, you gotta give that one a round of applause.
You look at the client, you're
Yes.
afraid that, okay, this market is already not the greatest, and if I refer her because Danielle knows how to do this better than me, then I just lost a client, you
Right.
know?
No.
Because in return, she'll do the same thing
Right.
with me.
Exactly.
You know, and that's
You're
how you
better
formulate
Well-
that sisterhood in this industry. You can't be afraid of that. What you do is you're growing your network.
Right.
Right.
You know, one of the greatest things I learned from being taught by Sam Fine is that if a client brings you that picture or the book or shows you a picture on their phone, sweetheart, that look has already been done.
Right.
It can't be done again.
Thank you.
You know, you just can't, you know, and so you just don't try to duplicate because you can't. That artist did that look.
Right.
I'm not that artist.
And to that point is no one can sign your name. Your signature
Right.
is your signature.
Right.
No matter how much you could train people, someone or show them something, you're really not giving your signature. You're giving information. And this helps the artist or the trainee or the stylist, gives them the ability to create their own technique on how they do things. And you learn from that. You're like, I taught her. What? She did that? Well, that's good, you know.
I was afraid, and I was trying to do this by myself. I was reaching out to the only people that I knew. Help
Yeah.
me.
Exactly.
Help me.
Right,
Help me
because
learn.
that's what
Help
art
me.
is.
Help
Art is
me.
a
Information
I
is
will.
power.
And if you're going to
Yeah.
respond to me, great. If you're not, great. I'm going to keep moving. But I have had I literally post on my Facebook all the time. Ask me.
Yeah.
You don't know if I'm busy. You don't know if I'm doing this. Don't assume. Ask me.
Right.
Because I'm probably gonna learn something from you, or I'm gonna learn something from showing you something.
It makes you
Ask me.
Right, it makes you think. So then you be like, ooh, yeah, I didn't even think
I
of that
remember
myself.
when Morgan was getting started more on the professional, and we met several times. I gave her books and education and the marketing end of it, and we went over so much. And just to see her grow and extend, and that was all from asking. I'm able to ask her, she's able to ask me, and we should be able to do that in
And
this community.
that's art. And art is a transfer of balance. It's a transfer of power.
Yeah.
And it's a transfer of ideas. So nobody really stole anybody else's purple
Right.
smoky eye. They just took it and they put a little twist on it and made it their own thing. And there's nothing wrong with the transfer of power. There's nothing, to me, in my mind, I've never lost a client.
Hello.
So if I tell somebody, you know, hey, I can't really do this type of look, but Arlette can do this kind of look, so here's her phone number. I'm not thinking to myself, gosh, I freaking lost a client. I didn't lose a client.
No, you didn't.
I gave something to you
Right.
that is your specialty, and it's what you
Right.
do. You know, I spent so much time thinking, I'm gonna be all this, I'm gonna do special effects, I'm gonna do beauty, I'm gonna do pageantry, I'm gonna do all this stuff. But you can't do it, you shouldn't do all of it. And there's so many people, if we all work together towards the common goal of showing people that we're artists, and there is a separation between artists and enthusiasts and hobbyists. If we can all come together, Katanya helped me so much in the beginning, and she did it freely, absolutely freely. She didn't say, oh, well, you know, I've been working 10 years to get these contests. I'm just gonna go ahead and do you know how many of you know how how many
Yes,
people do
yes,
that and say,
yeah.
well, I've been working for this for
But
so
do you know
long.
I did all this for this
You've
long?
only been doing
Yeah.
it for 6 years. It
I've
doesn't
done that
matter
before.
because
I've done it before because, you know, I mean,
and
yeah.
of course there's going to be things, you know, if somebody asks me, hey Morgan, can you give me your contact at such and such? No.
No.
No, I'm not going to do that, but I am going to show you how you can get there on your own. But I do
Exactly.
get DMs and questions about, well, how'd you do this? I want to do it too.
And you
know,
kind of
I'll
don't
be
know how
as-
to. Do you know how to? It's weird
a
because
slippery
you want to answer,
Right.
but you don't want to come off a certain way, and you're
But
kind
it's
of
how
like,
you do it.
right,
And
you
that's
know.
why,
That's how
again,
you
it's a
respond.
transfer of balance. So I can tell you one thing without telling you everything. I can say, well, the steps that I took was I sent this email that said this and this and this to blah, blah, blah. I maybe don't have to give all the answers, but I can transfer a little bit of knowledge from me to you. You know, there's certain things, sometimes I would get upset when people wouldn't answer me and give me here's this person's phone number. But I had to look for it. I wanted to go to New York Fashion Week for years. It took me 3 years to get there. And I kept asking people thinking, well, she's been there, so let me go, you know, sit with her and ask her. And she wouldn't tell me.
No.
And it would get me upset. But at the end of the day, it's a transfer of balance. So they told me what they could, and then I burrowed in a little further for myself. And now I can say, I went to Fashion Week on my guide,
Right.
on my brain, on my knowledge, and then I transferred a little bit of that out. And it's just this beautiful little trickle effect, and everybody gets to benefit from that. You know, maybe you don't tell everything,
Yeah.
but you tell something, because at the end of the day, we're all here to help each other. If
Well,
we're not, it's like, and if you're
that's
not
logic.
watching,
That's what
That's you want. That's what you want to
Right.
know.
So at some point, you know, I mean, I pump my brakes at some point. You know,
Right.
just being honest, I'm not going to sit here and act like, no, I haven't not answered someone, or sometimes it's their approach. You know, how they
I'm gonna
approach
stop you
Sometimes
right
you
there.
get those messages.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Say it
stop,
right
stop
there.
you right there because that's going into the next
Okay.
topic that I was going to let me go. Okay, so we're amongst girlfriends, and I know that since I've relocated to this area, I've had some struggles as it relates to making sure that I'm marketable to each and every one. Like, we have our hairstylists, we have our makeup artists, and then we have some that are a combination of the two, but prefer maybe one over the other. For me, and my experience is a little bit different than maybe, say, somebody else's. So I want to get your feedback. Again, some of us are transplants, some of us are not. So raise your hand if you're originally from Arizona. Okay, it's three.
Wow.
Three of the group that are originally from Arizona. Okay, so I'm originally from Kalamazoo, Michigan. If any of you have ever heard of it, but you probably have not, and that's okay. Arlette, where are you from?
I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
And Danielle, where are you from?
Detroit, my fellow Michigan.
Oh, yeah. And Morgan, where are you from?
I'm from Los Angeles, California.
Okay, so we're all over the place. Complete different coasts and things of that nature. So what do you feel like, for those of us that are from this area, what do you feel like are some of the struggles that you've witnessed in being in the beauty industry? Tanya?
For me personally, like I stated in my intro, starting out in modeling, it was very tough because you would see other models on the scene and they would have beautiful faces, beautiful made over makeup, and then you have the natural look, but your face is ashy. So you would sit there and wonder, why do I look like this? Why do they look glamorous? Why is it frowned upon that I have a weave and they want me to have natural hair, but no braids? But, you know, I can't have long flowing locks like the next girl.
Right.
You know, everything was just frowned upon. So I took it upon myself to, one, educate myself better in the industry, two, go out there and start making those changes and being a voice in the industry so that people could see that we do exist, we do have a voice. And you can't even go into Walgreens and get ethnic products. You gotta look way in the back
Right,
on
right.
this small tiny little section.
If they even have it over there.
Right, so I'm just really tired of that. And if we as a culture don't speak up about it, no changes will ever be made. And I've experienced that time after time after time to where I've gone on set and said, what type of look do you want? I'll do it myself. And that's why I decided to learn how to do makeup professionally for myself
Okay.
and then put it out there.